Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. My name is Janae Spry and I am a growth strategist and productivity and systems expert, and I am here interviewing Martina.
Hi guys, so my name is Martina and I run a translation company that specializes in marketing and advertising and digital, and then I run also a translation company that specializes in action sports and the outdoors. I've been doing this since 2010 unofficially, and I've registered my business in 2014, I think, and I've been on the road traveling as a digital nomad pretty much ever since from 2013.
Awesome. So the first thing I want to start off with is, you live in a van with your boyfriend and two cats. So you had to stabilize a lot of things. So I want to know, how did you prepare your business to go on the road in the first place? Did you have to buy certain types of equipment? How did you set that up to make sure that you knew you could help your customers consistently, without them having been affected?
So I started out and I was digital like from the go. I never had like an office or anything. I started translation as I was studying, and then as I had my first job at the airport and then office and wherever. So all the clients that I got, I pretty much all of them got online. So whatever I always like my main piece of like my office has always been my laptop, and since the very beginning. At the beginning I had a really like one of those tiny laptops, which was a complete nightmare because obviously I was just starting out, and then I like that was really slowing me down. It was like every time that I typed stuff, it was with like a 3 seconds delay. It was driving me crazy. And then when things got serious and I realized it was gonna be my main income, I invested in a MacBook. So that's definitely like skyrocketed my productivity.
Got it. Awesome. And I'll just mention this now since it's relevant for the time. So just so we may be airing this a little bit after this, but I have to ask, are you a little bit happy that you ended up in a van in the middle of nowhere, not around people when this COVID-19 hit instead of, in a city center?
Oh yes, I mean I'm not a city girl in the first place, and I'm actually from Milan, which is the worst hit region and city of Italy, which is the worst hit country after China. So I've always lived in like remote areas, and this like the van is a new thing. Before I lived in the Alps, and my cats showed up where I lived in the Alps, and then I kept them. And so that's when I decided to move into a tiny house so I could keep traveling if I wanted to. And the fact that I'm actually going to show you right now. Here's the van. And you can see I'm like literally in an olive tree grove. Is awesome because I think I'm pretty much the safest place that I could possibly be. And I'm completely like off grid. Your cat. And I am.
Yeah, that's my cat. She's joining us.
And yeah, so it's awesome. I don't really need to go and see people unless I want to. Fine. Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody's becoming a digital nomad, how would they know it's right for them, and kind of what types of questions should they be asking themselves before they hit the road?
So I've been doing this since I started out pretty much, and you need to like, even before it was hype, and now it's obviously it's quite fashionable to be a digital nomad, but it's not as easy, if you're, first of all, if you're a person who likes being around people, and being a digital nomad might not be might not be for you, because also you like I'm by myself in a van and I can thrive on this environment, but other people probably won't. So a lot of the issues that you see in a lot of digital nomad groups is how do I make friends, how do I stay friends with people if I keep changing country. So that's probably obviously one of the most important things that you want to think about. And the second is, do you have the discipline to set up and follow your own schedule with projects and clients? Because it's easy when you're home to just get sidetracked by like cats, TV, whatever. And yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me when I've traveled, I mostly stay in my home base, but when I travel, is time zones and just like the loss of routine when you have a like pretty significant change in time zone. Do you stay pretty much? You stay pretty much in Europe though, right?
At the moment, I am.
With the van.
Because I'm with the van and the cats.
Yeah.
But when I started in 2013 is when I dropped everything else and I just went off and I was actually living in Germany and then in Switzerland, and then I just dropped everything and I went to Thailand. I was in Southeast Asia for a while, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia, and then I went to Peru and Ecuador. So yeah, so it was definitely a challenge to keep on top of things when I was, I think, in Asia. It was quite hard because I was getting up and had like having emails and stuff, and yeah,
Yeah.
so it's easier on some sides of the world is easier, but you obviously it also depends on which country you get work from, you work
Yeah.
with mostly.
True. What's the top thing that you wish somebody had told you before you decided to become a digital nomad?
I would say do this, get like prepare, save up a little bit, and then don't just go, with the with the flow. Because when I went at the time, I just went and I didn't really have any safety plan, nothing in place, and I found myself quite a lot of the time at the beginning because I was just starting out my business. For the first few years, I was just doing it while I was doing other jobs and studying, and then when I found myself actually having to sustain myself with my own income, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what it took to actually run a business. So it took me a while to get into it. So I wish someone had told me, go, like, prepare yourself better. But then at the same time, I'm happy that I did what I did, because the fact that I had to survive helped me create the business that I have now.
So you kind of feel a little bit like, one, you would have been better prepared financially, but at the same time, you had your back against the wall and it was either make your business work or go home.
Make you work or die, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you can't eat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's definitely very motivating.
Yeah. But I think that's also something that people need to take into consideration if they want to do this, if they want to go and travel. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, just look at what we're experiencing now with like the coronavirus. Right now, all of my income, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next. So are you prepared to face something like that? A lot of people right now are stranded somewhere across the world from their own country where the healthcare system might not be adequate. I mean, it's a lot of things that you also need to take into consideration. It's not just what you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
People like having fun and that's it.
Yeah, I talked to several people who are currently stranded in countries that are not their home country, and in some cases their current country has a lot of cases. So they wanted to leave, but they can't really travel either. So they're sort of just stuck wherever they are. So that's a definite, I would say it's unlikely that a pandemic is going to repeat itself, but it is possible that you can get stuck places, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also something else that I wanted to say about, like, we see a lot of the time people saying, oh, if you are a digital nomad, you have to travel every 3 days, every week, you have to be different places. There's not such a thing as a digital nomad, as in, like, there is no label, I would say to anyone who's considering doing this, don't let other people label you and decide what you have to do, because it's just a lifestyle. And it just means that you have the freedom to be wherever you want and live off the income that you can generate online. So if you want to go somewhere and you want to stay for 1 year, 3 months, 5 months, 1 week, it's entirely up to you. I wouldn't
That's cool.
Impressed about that.
Yeah, that's been an interesting argument online occasionally. It's kind of silly when you think about it.
Very silly, yeah.
So what's been like the top struggle in terms of growing your business as a nomad, and how have you handled it so far?
Well, as I said, I guess when I was abroad by myself and I had a limited amount of knowledge of what it means to grow a business, from which obviously means going anywhere from getting clients, marketing, and then doing the actual work yourself, and like translation work in my case. So it was really, really hard. And I would say that the way that I've overcome all my struggles is first research. At the beginning specifically, I remember being in Cambodia, and I would spend I was thinking, how do I want to make a website. I cannot afford someone, to pay someone to make my website. So I spent, obviously my first website that I made myself was ridiculous. It was horrible. But I learned a ton of stuff along the way, and I just spent 70% of my days researching. And that applies to every situation and obstacle that I might find myself in my private or professional life.
Got it.
And then just stay resilient and just always try to see opportunities rather than problems.